Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are taking on something pretty big, buying a car. It's a huge financial decision, right? Probably second only to buying a house for most people.
Definitely.
Yet thousands, maybe even millions, overpay every single year. And why? Well, it often comes down to the fact that dealerships, they're experts at this game. They know how to work the numbers, how to, play on emotions.
That's a perfect way to put it. They have a whole system, a playbook really, designed to, well, maximize their profit on every single sale,
Yeah.
often in ways the buyer doesn't even see coming.
Right.
But that's what we're here for today. For you, the listener, the learner, our mission is to give you a shortcut. We're going to lay out a clear 10-step strategy. This isn't just about maybe saving a few bucks. It's about shifting the power dynamic, putting you in control of the whole process.
We're essentially handing over the dealer's playbook, but from the buyer's side. So you can walk in negotiating from a position of, well, knowledge and frankly control. We've structured this deep dive chronologically. We'll start way before you even think about stepping onto a car lot, move
Okay.
through the negotiation itself, and finish right when you're signing the paperwork.
Master these steps, and you stop being the target. You become the one setting the terms. You ready?
Let's do it. We begin, as you said, way before the dealership. Section 1, pre-dealership preparation. This is where you build your power base through knowledge. Okay, step 1. This is the absolute foundation. You have to know the real price before you even talk to anyone. We see the MSRP, right? The sticker price.
Right. The manufacturer's suggested retail price.
But our sources are really clear that MSRP, it's almost, well, functionally meaningless in a real negotiation. So what is the real price we should be zeroing in on?
Okay, good question. The real price involves understanding two things the dealer really prefers you don't know about. The invoice price and something called the dealer holdback.
Yeah.
Now, the invoice price, that's supposedly what the dealer paid the manufacturer for the car. But even that isn't their true bottom line.
Okay, hang on. So the invoice price isn't the real cost. That seems counterintuitive. How do we figure out the genuine market value then?
You need to use independent third-party sources. Think websites like Edmunds, Kelley Blue Book, maybe Car Gurus. They track actual sales data in your local area, so you can see what people are actually paying for the specific make, model, and trim you're interested in. That gives you a realistic target range. Ideally, you want to aim for something maybe slightly above the invoice price, but definitely way below the MSRP.
Okay, that makes sense. Use real-world data. But you mentioned something else, the dealer holdback. That sounds kind of hidden.
It is hidden, deliberately so. The holdback is essentially a rebate the manufacturer gives back to the dealer after the car is sold. It's usually a percentage of the MSRP or the invoice price, often around 2%, sometimes 3%.
Whoa, okay. So let me get this straight. If I negotiate hard and manage to get the car for, say, $200 under the invoice price,
Yep.
the dealer might still be making a guaranteed profit because of this holdback amount they get later, plus maybe other bonuses.
Exactly right. That holdback is often pure guaranteed profit for them, even if they claim they're selling at cost or below invoice. And yeah, there are often volume bonuses from the manufacturer too if they sell a certain number of cars.
That completely changes how you should think about a good deal, doesn't it? That salesperson saying, I'm losing money on this deal for you, probably not true.
Almost certainly not true, especially when you factor in the holdback. So, see, if you walk in just looking at the MSRP, you have basically zero leverage. But if you walk in knowing the invoice price and understanding that 2–3% holdback exists, now the conversation shifts. It's not about their asking price anymore. It's about their actual cost structure.
And that's why it's so crucial to avoid being what the sources call the emotional buyer.
Precisely. The emotional buyer gets fixated. Oh, I love this specific blue, or it has to have the premium sound system. The moment your desire for that specific car overrides your focus on its objective market value,
The dealer's got you.
they've got you because you're negotiating based on feeling, not facts. Step one is about seeing the car primarily as a commodity, a thing with a definable market value before you let yourself fall in love with it.
That cool objective mindset flows perfectly into step 2, and this one, many experts say, is maybe the single biggest money saver. Get your financing sorted before you even choose a dealership, get pre-approved.
This isn't just a suggestion. It's pretty much mandatory if you want to save serious money. Why? Because it takes away one of the dealership's biggest profit centers, the financing itself. They often call it the F&I department, finance and insurance.
Okay, let's pull back the curtain here. How exactly do dealers make money on the financing? What's the actual mechanism, and how does getting pre-approved stop it?
Okay, so dealers often participate in something called the dealer reserve. Essentially, they act as a go-between.
Yeah.
They take your credit application and shop it around to various banks and lenders they partner with. Now, let's say based on your good credit, a bank approves you for a loan at maybe 5.0% annual percentage rate, or APR.
Sure.
The bank might then tell the dealer, okay, you can mark this loan up by, say, up to 2 percentage points. This is the dealer reserve. So the dealer can legally present that loan to you at any rate between 5.0% and 7.0%.
Wow. So if they offer me 7.0% and I accept it, they're pocketing the entire 2% difference. That's the markup or reserve.
That's exactly it. And that profit, that 2%, isn't just a one-time fee. It's built into the interest calculation over the entire life of the loan.
Can we quantify that? What does that 2% difference actually cost someone over, say, 5 or 6 years?
Oh, it adds up fast.
Yeah.
On a, let's say, $30,000 loan over 72 months, that's 6 years, the difference between a 5.0% rate and a 7.0% rate. You're easily looking at an extra $1,800, maybe even $2,000 or more just in interest payments.
And that money goes straight to the dealership, not the bank.
Straight into the dealer's pocket. It's a huge, often hidden profit stream for them.
Okay, so the power move is getting pre-approved at my own bank, or, even better, a credit union, before I go shopping. Let's say they approve me at that 5.0%.
Now, you walk into the dealership holding all the power in that part of the negotiation. You have a written commitment, a firm offer. You can essentially say, look, I'm already approved for 5.0%. If you want my business for the financing part, you either need to accept this loan I brought or you need to find me a better rate.
So I set the baseline. They have to beat my existing offer.
Exactly. You've dictated the terms. Without that pre-approval, the dealer controls the information. You don't know what rate your credit actually qualifies you for, so they have room to maximize that reserve profit.
And hey, if they do manage to find a better rate, maybe 4.5%.
Then fantastic. That's a genuine win for you. You saved even more money. But the crucial thing is you control that part of the process because you came prepared. You negotiated the rate based on fact, not just hoping they'd give you a fair shake.
All right, so we've done our homework, we've got our financing lined up. Now we actually head to the dealership. Section 2 is about staying in control during the negotiation itself and avoiding those classic dealer tricks, the shell games. And step 3 tackles probably the oldest trick in the book, getting you to focus only on the monthly payment.
Oh yeah, this is fundamental dealership psychology 101. They love the monthly payment question. So what kind of monthly payment fits your budget? As soon as you answer that,
You've kind of lost control.
you've given them the keys to the kingdom, basically. Because the monthly payment is just the output of 3 variables.
Yeah.
The actual selling price of the car, the interest rate, APR, and the loan term, how many months you're paying.
So if I say, I really need to stay under $450 a month, what happens then? How do they manipulate things?
Well, they'll work backwards to make that $450 happen, even if the car price or interest rate is too high for it on a standard loan term, like say 60 months. They'll just stretch the loan term out, maybe to 72 months, or these days, even 84 months. 7 years.
Wow.
So yeah, the monthly payment might look affordable, might hit your $450 target, but now you're paying interest for an extra year or two. And often because you're just focused on that monthly number, they might have padded the actual selling price of the car with extra fees or a higher starting point. You stop looking at the total cost.
Okay, so the absolute rule, the non-negotiable for the buyer, has to be always, always negotiate the total out-the-door price. We need to be super clear on what that means.
Crystal clear. The out-the-door price, often called OTD, is the single, final, all-inclusive number you need to pay to drive that car off the lot, title cleared, everything done. It must include the agreed-upon price of the vehicle itself, all applicable sales taxes for your area, the title and registration fees required by the state, and any other genuinely non-negotiable government charges. Nothing else.
And you need that in writing, like a clear breakdown.
Absolutely. Demand a written buyer's order that clearly shows just the OTD price and its core components.
Yeah.
Don't let them muddy the waters yet with financing scenarios or trade-in values, just the price to own the car.
Can we do a quick example? Let's say the sticker is $30,000 and I negotiate them down to $28,000 for the car itself. What might the OTD realistically look like?
Okay, let's say sales tax in your area is 7%. That's $1,960 on $28,000. Then maybe there's $500 in mandatory state title and registration fees. So your actual OTD price isn't $28,000, it's closer to $30,460. Now, if the dealer was distracting you with a $400 monthly payment discussion, they might have based that calculation on a much higher total price, maybe $32,000, and stretched the loan to 84 months to make the payment seem low. See the danger?
Yeah, completely. You only negotiate that $30,460 OTD figure if they refuse to give you a clean, written OTD price breakdown up front.
You walk. Seriously. It's a major red flag that they intend to play games with the numbers.
And the timing here is vital too, right? You mentioned keeping things separate. If they bring up financing options or ask about your trade-in while you're still trying to agree on the car's price,
You stop them. Politely but firmly. Let's finalize the out-the-door price on this vehicle first. Then we can discuss financing and my trade-in. You have to isolate each negotiation,
why is that isolation so critical?
because combining them allows the shell game. If they're discussing all three, new car price, trade-in value, financing terms simultaneously, it's incredibly easy for them to make it look like you're getting a great deal in one area while quietly taking advantage of you in another.
Which leads us directly into step 4. Separating the trade-in transaction entirely. This is where that infamous four-square worksheet often comes out, right? Designed to confuse.
Oh, the Foursquare, yes.
Right.
It's a worksheet divided into 4 boxes. Usually new car price, your down payment or cash due, your trade-in value, and the monthly payment. The salesperson uses it to jump between these numbers rapidly, making changes, scribbling things out.
Making it impossible to track what's actually changing.
Exactly. The classic maneuver is to offer you what seems like a fantastic below-market price
Yeah.
on the new car. Make you feel really good about that number,
Yeah.
while simultaneously giving you a trade-in value that's maybe thousands below what your old car is actually worth. They make the profit back, and then some, on the trade-in, but you're focused on the discount they gave you.
So it feels like a win, but it costs you big time on the back end. How do we counter that? How do we force them to treat the trade-in fairly and separately?
You apply the same logic as step 1. Just like you research the new car's real market value, you must research your current car's actual market value before you go to the dealership. Get concrete written purchase offers for your car from other places. Go to CarMax. Get online quotes from places like Broom or Carvana. Even visit an independent used car dealer and ask what they'd pay for it outright.
So you walk in armed with actual offers, not just an estimate from a website.
Precisely. That data is your leverage. So here's the process. First, negotiate the out-the-door price for the new car. Get that number agreed upon, ideally signed on a preliminary buyer's order. Lock it down. Only then do you bring up the trade-in. You can say, okay, now about my trade-in, I have offers right here showing its market value is $18,000. Can your dealership match or beat that?
So you force them to compete against a known real-world value.
Yes. It prevents them from playing games and hiding a lowball offer behind a supposed discount on the new car. You negotiate the new car price as one transaction and the sale of your old car as a completely separate transaction. Cleaner, fairer, much harder for them to manipulate.
Okay, we've negotiated the OTD price, we've handled the trade-in separately. Seems like we're almost done, right? But Section 3 warns us about traps that come after the main negotiation. Step 5 is about surviving the finance office, or F&I office, and skipping the expensive add-ons. This is where they say the real profit begins.
That's often true, sadly. You've agreed on the price, you're feeling good, maybe a little tired, and then they usher you into a separate office to meet the F&I manager. This person is not just there to do paperwork. They are a highly trained salesperson. Their income often depends heavily, sometimes entirely, on selling you additional products and services products with very high profit margins for the dealership.
And they're good at it, right? Playing on fear, maybe? What if your engine breaks down?
Exactly. Fear of future problems, desire for peace of mind. They're masters at framing these add-ons as essential protection.
So what are the biggest culprits, the most common high-profit add-ons we should be ready to just say no to?
Number 1, far and away, is usually the extended warranty or vehicle service contract. They might pitch a warranty for, say, $3,000 or $3,500, but the dealer's actual cost for that same policy from the provider might only be $1,200 or $1,500. The rest is pure markup.
Wow, like double the cost.
Easily double, sometimes more. Then you have paint protection and fabric protection packages. Sounds good anyway. Keep your car looking new.
Yeah.
The reality, it often costs the dealer maybe $50 in materials and labor to apply, and they'll try to sell it to you for $800 or $1,000.
Ouch. What else?
VIN etching, where they etch the vehicle identification number onto the windows. They'll claim it's an anti-theft measure. You can often buy a DIY kit for $20. They'll charge hundreds. Tire and wheel protection plans. Nitrogen in the tires, which is almost completely useless for the average driver. Your regular air is 78% nitrogen anyway.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff to say no to. What about GAP insurance? Guaranteed asset protection. You hear about that one a lot. Is that always a bad deal, or is there a time it makes sense?
That's a really good question. It's more nuanced. GAP insurance covers the gap between what your car insurance pays out if your car is totaled or stolen and what you still owe on the loan.
Because cars depreciate fast, so you could owe more than it's worth.
Exactly. Especially in the first year or two, or if you had a very small down payment or rolled negative equity from a trade-in into the new loan. In those cases, GAP can be a really smart thing to have. You don't want to be writing checks for a car you don't even have anymore.
Okay, so sometimes it's useful, but
But you should almost never buy it from the dealership's F&I office. They mark it up significantly. Your own auto insurance company or the bank or credit union that pre-approved your loan can usually sell you the exact same GAP coverage for sometimes half the price the dealer charges. Get quotes beforehand if you think you need it.
so the overall strategy for the F&I office is basically just say no.
Pretty much. Have a mantra ready. Thank you, but I'm only interested in signing the paperwork for the agreed-upon, out-the-door price and the financing terms we discussed. I'm declining all optional products.
And if you do actually want something, like maybe an extended warranty on a used car?
Research it beforehand. Get quotes online from reputable third-party warranty companies or even your credit union. Know what a fair price is. If the dealer's F&I manager offers one, you can compare it to your research. But the default should be no to everything they offer in that room. Remember, legally, all these products are optional. You have the right to refuse them.
That firmness leads us to step 6, which loops back to preparation but also influences the negotiation. Timing your purchase strategically. How does knowing about dealer quotas help save money?
It's all about motivation. Dealerships, and especially their sales managers and salespeople, operate under pretty intense pressure to hit sales targets. Monthly quotas, quarterly quotas, annual volume goals set by the manufacturer. Hitting these targets often triggers significant bonuses. A sales manager might get a huge payout if the dealership sells, say, 150 cars in a month instead of 149.
So if it's the end of the month, say the 29th or 30th, and they're just a couple of cars short of hitting that big bonus number?
Your single sale suddenly becomes much more valuable to them than the last few $100s of profit on your specific car. Their need to hit the quota can outweigh their desire to maximize profit on your individual deal.
Their desperation becomes my leverage.
Exactly. So the best times to shop are pretty well established. The last few days of any month, especially the very last day, the end of a financial quarter, so late March, late June, late September, and especially late December. And probably the absolute best time is often the last week of the calendar year. They're trying to hit annual goals and clear out the previous model year's inventory to make space for the new models arriving.
So they have multiple motivations to move those cars. Makes sense. And conversely, when's the worst time to try and negotiate a deal?
Probably the beginning of the month. Especially the first weekend, they've got a whole month ahead of them to hit their target. There's zero urgency on their part. They'll likely hold firm on price. Patience pays off here. Wait until the pressure's on them.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit with step 7. This isn't just about negotiation tactics, but a bigger financial choice, considering used cars instead of new, and the importance of independent checks. The argument against new cars starts with depreciation, right? It's brutal.
It's financially staggering, honestly. The common statistic is that a new car can lose somewhere around 10% of its value the second you drive it off the lot.
Just like that. Poof.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And within the first year, you're often looking at a 20%, maybe even 30% loss in value. That's thousands of dollars just gone, vanished into thin air.
So purely from a smart financial perspective, buying new is often not the best move. What's the alternative?
The sweet spot, financially speaking, is often a slightly used car, particularly a 1 or 2-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle, or CPO.
Why CPO specifically?
Because you let the first owner absorb that massive initial depreciation hit. The biggest drop in value has already happened. But with a CPO vehicle, it's typically low mileage, it's undergone a thorough inspection by the dealership, supposedly, and crucially, it comes with an extended warranty backed by the manufacturer, not just the dealer.
So you get a lot of the reliability and peace of mind of a new car, but at a significantly lower price point because you skipped that initial depreciation cliff.
Exactly. You can save thousands up front and still get a dependable car with warranty coverage.
Now, if we go the used or CPO route, the sources stress a couple of absolutely mandatory checks. First, you need a vehicle history report.
Non-negotiable. You need a Carfax or an AutoCheck report for any used car you're seriously considering. You're looking for major red flags. Has it been in reported accidents? Is there any frame damage reported? Does it have a salvage, flood, or lemon title? Are there big gaps in the service history?
What would a gap in service history indicate?
Could be innocent. Maybe the owner did their own oil changes. Or it could be hiding something. Maybe a recurring problem wasn't being documented. It's a point for further investigation.
Okay, history report first. And the second critical step, even if it's a certified pre-owned.
Get an independent pre-purchase inspection, PPI. Take the car to your mechanic, someone you trust, before you sign any papers.
Why is that necessary if the dealer already certified it? Don't they do an inspection?
They do. But the mechanics doing the CPO inspection work for the dealership selling the car. Their incentive structure might be, shall we say, aligned with getting the car passed and sold with minimal fuss or expense. Your independent mechanic works only for you. They have no skin in the game other than giving you an honest assessment. They'll put it up on a lift, check the brakes, tires, suspension, look for hidden rust or frame damage, check fluid conditions, plug into the computer to look for hidden or cleared error codes. A thorough inspection takes about an hour.
And it probably costs, what, $100, $150?
Somewhere in that range, usually. And it is absolutely the best money you can spend when buying used. That $150 inspection could easily save you from buying a car that needs a $3,000 transmission repair 3 months down the road.
Or if it finds smaller issues like needing new brake pads soon.
You can use that information. You can go back to the dealer and say, my mechanic found it needs $500 in brake work. You either need to do that work before I buy it, or you need to knock $500 off the price. It becomes a negotiating tool backed by objective evidence.
All right, we're heading into the end game now. Section 4 covers the final steps to maintain control and close the deal smartly. And Step 8 introduces what might be the buyer's single most powerful tool, maybe even a psychological weapon, being genuinely ready to walk away.
It's the ultimate leverage. The willingness, the actual readiness to stand up and leave if the deal isn't right. It changes everything, instantly. Think about it from the dealer's perspective. They've invested time in you. The salesperson showed you cars, went on a test drive, maybe crunched some numbers, went back and forth with the sales manager.
You got time sunk into this deal.
Exactly, sunk cost. If you walk out that door, all that time and effort is potentially wasted. They lose the chance at a sale, a number towards their quota. Your willingness to leave signals, you're serious and not easily pushed around.
Dealers must have ways to try and stop you from walking outright. What are the common pressure tactics used at this stage?
Oh, absolutely. They try to create artificial urgency or scarcity. You'll hear lines like, my manager just approved this price, but it's only good for today, right now. Or, I had another couple looking at this exact car earlier. They said they might be back this afternoon.
Classic closing lines, designed to make you panic.
Exactly. Trigger that fear of missing out, FOMO. Make you feel like if you leave, this magical deal disappears forever, bypass your rational brain, and push you into an emotional decision now.
So the buyer needs to cultivate this inner confidence, this knowledge that, well, there are always more cars. This isn't the only blue SUV in the entire state.
Precisely. There are thousands of cars out there. There are other dealerships. This one deal is not your only chance. Your budget, your preset maximum OTD price, that is non-negotiable. If the final number they put in front of you crosses that line,
You get up.
you thank them politely for their time. Okay, it looks like we're not quite there on the numbers today. Here's my phone number if anything changes. And that you physically stand up and walk towards the door. Don't let them stall you with, let me talk to my manager one more time, unless they're immediately matching your number. Just leave.
And what typically happens after you deploy the walk away, does the deal just die?
Often, no. You've shown you're a serious data-driven buyer, not just kicking tires or easily swayed. It's actually quite common, the sources say, maybe 9 times out of 10 for the salesperson or the manager to call you back, maybe later that day, maybe the next morning.
Yeah.
And suddenly, they've found a way to make the numbers work. They've magically gotten approval for that final discount, or they've adjusted something to meet your price, because now they know you're real, you have a firm limit, and they want the sale. Walking away often gets you the actual best deal they were willing to offer all along.
Okay, so let's say you walk, they call back, you agree on that final, truly best OTD price. Now we arrive at the absolute final hurdle, Step 9. Scrutinize every single document before you sign. This sounds critical, especially when you're tired and just want to get the keys.
That exhaustion is exactly what they might be counting on. You've been there for hours, you've won the negotiation, you're excited about the car.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just quickly initial, here, sign there.
Big mistake.
Potentially huge mistake. This is where errors, sometimes accidental, sometimes less so, can creep into the final contract. You must slow down. Take your time. Read everything before you sign it. If they try to rush you, politely but firmly refuse. I need a few minutes to review these documents carefully.
Okay, let's make a checklist for the listener. What specific things should they be laser focused on in that stack of final paperwork beyond just the main price?
All right, checklist. 1. Verify the final out-the-door price exactly matches the number you agreed upon. No unexpected additions. 2. Double-check the agreed-upon interest rate, APR, and the loan term, number of months. Make sure they haven't changed. 3. Look carefully for any add-ons, warranties, protection plans, VIN etching that you explicitly declined in the F&I office. Sometimes they reappear mysteriously. Make sure they're removed. 4. Check all the fees, especially the documentation fee. We'll talk more about that. Title and registration fees. Make sure they align with what's legal in your state and what you discussed. 5. And this is a subtle but important one. Look for an arbitration clause.
An arbitration clause. What does that do, and why should I care?
An arbitration clause typically states that if you have a dispute with the dealership in the future, say, you discover a major problem they didn't disclose, you agree not to sue them in court. Instead, you must settle the dispute through a private arbitrator. This often favors the dealership and limits your legal options and potential remedies. Some consumer advocates strongly recommend striking this clause out before signing, or at least understanding its implications.
Wow, okay. That's definitely in the fine print. Also need to make sure there's an as-is clause slipped in if you bought a CPO or new car with a warranty, right?
Good point. An as-is rider basically negates any implied warranties and says you bought the car with all its faults. That shouldn't be there if you have a manufacturer or CPO warranty.
And even small dollar amounts can creep in, like an extra $200 service fee that wasn't discussed.
Absolutely. Go line by line through the itemized breakdown. If the final number on that contract is even $1 higher than the OTD price you shook hands on, you stop. Point it out. Demand clarification and correction before you sign anything.
Because, and this is the crucial legal point, once you sign that contract,
It's legally binding. In most places in the U.S., there's no cooling off period for car purchases like there is for some other contracts. You can't just change your mind the next day. Once signed, you own the car and the financial obligation that comes with it. Vigilance until the very end is key.
which brings us perfectly to our final step, step 10. This is less a tactic and more an overarching principle. Stick to your budget. Do not let emotions rule the day.
This really ties everything together. All the steps we've discussed, the research, the pre-approval, focusing on OTD, walking away, they're all tools to enforce discipline because the entire dealership experience is designed to bypass discipline and engage your emotions. The shiny showroom, the smell of the new car, the exciting test drive, the salesperson being friendly, the manager fighting to get you a deal, it's all theater designed to make you feel good, feel special, feel excited.
And excitement makes people spend more money than they plan.
Almost always. You start thinking, well, it's only another $20 a month, or I really deserve this upgrade. That's emotion talking, not logic. Buying a car has to be treated, first and foremost, as a major financial transaction.
The goal is to acquire an asset you need or want at or below its fair market value within your predetermined budget.
Exactly. Stick to the plan you made before you got swept up in the moment. If the deal doesn't fit your numbers, or if you feel pressured or rushed, you have to have the discipline to walk away. Even if you love the car, your budget, your financial well-being has to come first.
Okay, and let's wrap this up with that bonus tip you mentioned, which loops back to scrutinizing the details. Negotiate everything, even the fees.
Yes, because many buyers assume anything called a fee is mandatory, like taxes. But that's often not true. While sales tax and state registration fees are generally fixed, many dealer fees are negotiable profit centers. The biggest one to target is usually the documentation fee, often called the doc fee.
Right, you see that on almost every purchase agreement. What's it supposedly for, and why is it negotiable?
Dealers claim it covers the cost of processing the paperwork, filling out forms, handling the title and registration documents, etc. But honestly, the actual administrative cost is minimal and already part of their overhead. The doc fee is almost entirely pure profit. Its amount can vary wildly by state and dealerships. Some states cap it, but even the capped amount can be hundreds of dollars. We've seen doc fees anywhere from under $100 to well over $800.
So even after I've agreed on the final OTD price, when I'm in that final signing stage reviewing the documents, I can actually point to the doc fee line item and try to negotiate it down.
Absolutely you can, and you probably should. You can simply say something like, okay, we've agreed on the price, but this $500 documentation fee seems quite high. Can we reduce or waive that fee to finalize this deal right now?
What's the likely outcome?
Worst case, they say no. Best case, they knock it off entirely or reduce it significantly just to get the deal closed without any further hassle or needing to involve the manager again. It never, ever hurts to ask. Same goes for other questionable fees, like dealer prep, or sometimes even inflated destination charges. Always question the fees.
That is an incredibly thorough roadmap. Fantastic insights. Hashtag tag tag outro, key takeaways, and final thought.
So just to quickly recap the core Smart Buyer method, it all starts with knowledge. Know the car's real market value, factoring in things like holdback. Then, secure your power with pre-approved financing before shopping. During negotiation, anchor everything to the out-the-door price. Keep the trade-in and financing separate until that price is locked. Be prepared to firmly, politely decline all those high-profit F&I add-ons. And always, always be ready to use your ultimate tool, walking away if the deal isn't right for your budget and terms.
Stay calm, stay informed, and stay in control. It really transforms what can be a super stressful experience into, well, just a business transaction where you hold the cards. Understanding the game, as you called it, is the key. So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to take away and maybe act on. Now that you know many dealership fees, especially the dock fee, are often negotiable profit, think about this. What is one specific fee you will consciously plan to question and try to negotiate down the next time you purchase a vehicle? Just planning that single move is a big step towards buying smarter. Don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching.